In this video, no one's safe because I'm gonna share some of the worst men's makeup I've tried recently. Now, some of it is downright bad, and I'm gonna tell you to stay away from it as far as possible. Others might actually be fairly good, and I liked some of them in the past and recommended some of them in the past, but my preferences have just changed or I found better alternatives, so I'm gonna be sure to share those with you. If this is your first time watching, I am Mattis. I used to be a London-based makeup artist, and I used to work for incredible brands like Chanel, Dior, Hermes, and Charlotte Tilbury, and even got to model. Now I share those backstage male model makeup tips with you so you can look and feel your best on a daily basis, and so that you are more confident in your job, in dating, at events, or even just at the grocery store. So if you're interested in men's beauty, make sure to subscribe and say hi in the comments. Now get yourself a drink, relax, and we'll begin. And I'm gonna start with a real disappointment. Now this is the liquid eyeshadow by Ilia in the color Cork. And I had such high hopes for this because it's the perfect sort of milk chocolatey color that's perfect as a contour. Let's start with what I love about this. It has this perfect contour color for really light skin tones, which actually for some reason is really hard to come by in makeup. Usually when companies do cream eyeshadows or liquid eyeshadows, this is not a shade that you will find. Well, it does exist, but it's just not always the case. And I've tried so many, and this is a really perfect shade. And I also love the brand, you know, it's Ilia. They have this really beautiful minimal design. It looks great on the vanity. It's small, it's portable, but I just can't get it to work. And I completely understand because it's hard to formulate a liquid eyeshadow in a way that works, in a way that lasts on the eyes, while also having enough blend time, because that's the tricky part. You want the eyeshadow to go on smoothly and for you to have enough blend time, but then it also needs to really set down and last. And I have to say, sadly, whenever I put this on and I get to the blending stage, it just crumbles up. It doesn't blend properly at all. And I've tried using this with fingers, I've tried using it with brushes, and at least on my eyelids, I've also tried it with different skincare, like different prep before. And at least on me, it just doesn't blend. Which is so sad because I see people on TikTok apply it on their lids and it always looks great. But in my experience, it just doesn't do the same. You know, I always talk about eye contour and it being such a game changer for men's faces because it can really accentuate the eye area and give you that sort of deep set look to the eyes, make you look a bit more, you know, mysterious, and just make your whole eye region more impressive looking. This is something I do on a daily basis. I almost never leave the house without a bit of eye contour, and contour in general is just something that really elevates and enhances men's faces. But this, even though the color is so great, just doesn't work, at least on me. If you've tried this and loved this, please let me know. Please let me know how you use it so I can use it and enjoy it too, because so far I just couldn't. However, I do have a few really good alternatives for you. My favorite recently has been the Giorgio Armani liquid eye tint in the color 30. I believe this is called Cedar. And this, granted it's a bit darker, I'm gonna swatch it here for you. It looks quite a bit darker compared to the Ilia. So this is the Ilia, this is the Giorgio Armani. However, this one actually is blendable. You still have to be fast with this because, again, it's a liquid eyeshadow. It's meant to set and really last. So you don't have a ton of playtime. You don't have a ton of blending time. But if you work in sections, I always do one eye at a time, put on some color, blend it out with a brush, and it works beautifully this way. And even though it's quite a bit darker than the Ilia, I still can get it to work. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes right now, and it looks really natural. It gives you a beautiful contoured look. Perfect for you if you have light to medium skin, I would say. Alternatively, I also really love and rate the Lisa Eldridge liquid silk eyeshadows. These, I must say, I love the formula even more because they are so easily blendable. However, the colors are just a little bit different. You just don't get that perfect sort of cool toned contour shade. They're just a little bit more on the warm side. Here's the Ilia, which again, the shade I love the most, but the formula just doesn't work as well. Then the Giorgio Armani, also really love the shade. And then we have Irene and Phoebe by Lisa Eldridge, both really beautiful. They're just a little bit more of a warm tone. So if you have more of a warm undertone, you can still get them to work as a contour. Otherwise, they will still give you a beautiful effect, just not that really deep set eye effect in the same way that the Giorgio Armani does, for example. My dream would be if Lisa Eldridge would come out with a really good contour shade in these. I would be so, so happy. So if anyone on the team of Lisa sees this, please make that happen. That would be incredible, and I would not stop talking about it. I'm always on the hunt for really good liquid eyeshadows, so if you know any good ones, please let me know. You know what's so funny? Whenever I sit down to film, I spend ages getting ready, and I almost get, like, I do get nervous. I get a little bit anxious before filming. But then as soon as I turn on the camera, it's completely fine and it's fun and it's relaxing and I can do it for a long time. But before, I'm always so intimidated. I don't know why that happens. We're really flying across different categories here. Now we're going into brow products. This is a product I very recently bought, and it's by L'Oreal, and it's their Infaillible Brow Gel. And you know, L'Oreal, yes, it's a little bit up there, actually quite a bit up there for being a drugstore brand in terms of price. But usually the products are fantastic and I love so many of their products. So I was completely relying on the quality when I bought this brow gel. I tried it definitely twice, but immediately could tell that this is awful. This is just so bad. The way it deposits pigments on the brows, it's just so harsh. It just puts so, because it's so liquidy, you have barely any control, and immediately you have really, really dark brows because it just puts too much on there. I can't even tell you if it has good hold or not because I just wiped it off straight away because it just put color everywhere and my brows just looked like a mess. I don't know if you can see how sort of liquidy it is. You probably can't. But yeah, again, really, really highly pigmented, really, really liquidy. So just nothing that's suited for every day or for a natural look. I would instead go with NYX, the brow glue. These are just really easy to use. They're quite sheer in color, actually. They are sort of tinted. They don't give a ton of color, but enough color. They have this really tiny spoolie wand, which just makes it very easy to be controlled. They also keep the brows really good in place. So I would go for one of these over the L'Oreal any day. Okay, why don't we go in with another complexion product? And this just puzzled me. This is a product that really, really confused me. Now, this is called the Sunkisser blush by Maybelline, and I have the color Summer in the City, which is this really bronzy, glittery, shiny sort of color. And I have to say, when I bought this, it was the summer and it really excited me. It just looked so summery. It looked a bit, I mean, it looks a bit fun, it looks a bit kitsch, but this product just really confused me because I actually bought a few colors. I had this shade and this sort of pinky blush shade, and I tried this many times, but every time it sort of went on a bit differently. And sometimes it went on nicely, but sometimes it went on really patchy. And that's what happens most of the time, actually. It goes on really patchy. I just wanted to love this product so much, so I kept trying it. And I saw all the people on TikTok talking about it and applying it in such a beautiful way and it giving such a beautiful effect. But I just didn't have the same experience. It goes on so patchy no matter what way I use it. The worst way to use this is with the fingers. And I feel like, you know, intuitively, with this packaging style, you would just put a few dots on your face and just pat it in with a finger for that very effortless, summery, sun-kissed, beachy look. But if you do that, your cheek will literally look like you have like 3rd-degree burns. Like it just looks patchy, uneven, and horrible. And also, it has these huge, chunky glitter pieces that just don't look nice. They don't give you that, like Charlotte Tilbury, you know, has those blushes, those highlighter liquid blushes that give you that beautiful sheen to the skin. This doesn't give you a sheen. It just gives you sort of pigments in a crunchy, bunchy way, and then these thick, chunky glitter pieces throughout. So yeah, I don't know why I was confused for so long, because obviously this is not the product for me. Obviously this is just never gonna happen. But I think I just wanted to love this. I just had this fantasy of, you know, throwing it on my cheeks and having that sun-kissed glow in seconds, even though it's quite sort of a bronzy, orangey color. When I'm quite bronzed up, even then it doesn't work, and it's not because of the color, it's because of the formula. But I have some really great alternatives. I have a drugstore alternative as well as a more high-end alternative. And if you've seen my videos, you've already seen these, but still want to mention them. As a drugstore alternative, I have the Barbeidos Luminous Putty Blush by e.l.f. And it's just this gorgeous sort of glowy, radiant blush that still has quite a bit of warmth and bronziness to it. So it still gives you that sort of sun-kissed look to the skin and gives you a little bit of a glow. Not too much, but it does give a bit of a luminosity. And it's just this beautiful rusty shade. And it's not hard to apply. You can apply it with a sponge really well, or with the fingers. Those are probably my favorite ways to apply it with. And yeah, it's just so much better than this one. Sorry to say it. But if you're able to splurge even a little bit more, the Tower 28 Bronzino bronzer in the color Best Coast. I talk about this a lot, but this is just a high-end, luxurious, beautiful formula. I'm gonna swatch it for you here. This actually gives you quite a bit of glow. This gives you glow, it gives you flush, it gives you bronze all in one. This is what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. This is actually all I have on my cheek. I'm not wearing bronzer. I have on a bit of contour, but on my actual cheek, I only have the Tower 28 Bronzino in the color Best Coast. It's just incredible. You have to see this in real life because it has this buttery, melty feel to it that just gives you an actual glow, like a wet glow to the skin. It's not one of those glittery glows. It's an actual sort of sheen, like you've been out in the sun, you have a little bit of a light sweat going, you actually are sun-kissed with this. As soon as the summer, or the spring rather, hits, this will be on my face every day. Plus it blends easily. You know, I blended this out with my fingers in seconds. It melts into the skin. You don't have the same workload you get with the Maybelline one. And I love a lot of Maybelline products, but yeah, this one, not a winner. Let's talk about another blush. And this is actually a product I have loved for a long time. And this is a classic case of I just slightly changed my preferences. I don't hate this product. It's a beautiful blush. And in fact, if you have deeper skin, I still highly recommend this. Do you remember a few months ago, GQ China had a shoot where the model was full on, like covered in a sunburn, and they had achieved that look with makeup. And then everyone hopped on their TikTok and Instagram and recreated that look. And that was this really fun Megan Thee Stallion song. Anyway, I was one of the people that jumped on that trend and that created a sunburned look, like all over my chest, on my face, a really harsh sunburned look. This is the blush I used for it. It was perfect for this look because it's just so highly pigmented and you only need the smallest amount of this to really create that look. I mean, it's still dear to my heart, but on a day-to-day basis, this is not something I use anymore because at the moment, I just love a sheer blush that's just much easier to blend, that I can't mess up easily. With this, yes, you can get it to work, absolutely. If you go onto the back of your hand first and you just pick up a small amount with your brush, you can easily get it to work and it will look beautiful. But if you put this directly on your face, even just the smallest dot, you will just have a little bit of work blending it in. I just no longer want that work. I want products that I can swipe onto my face, blend out within seconds, and have this beautiful flushed look to the skin. I don't want that extreme pigment anymore. It's great for makeup artists. It's even great in the summer, and maybe in the summer I will love this again because it's a product that really, really lasts on the face. So once you put it on, it probably doesn't leave for a long time. But yeah, at the moment my preference is towards sheerer formulas, really easily blendable formulas. And as an alternative, I'm going to show you the Make Beauty blush sticks. They're called Heat Stroke blush sticks. And this is the color Scorched, which is this beautiful, again, really burnt sort of terracotta shade. It does look really pigmented, but with this one, it really shears out and blends into the skin so effortlessly. You know, it gives you the same warmth, the same bronzed effect, the same sun-kissed effect, and it also gives a glow to the skin, but you just don't have the work. You just put it onto your cheek, bum, bum. You blend it in and you're done. And that's the sort of formulas I love at the moment. But again, I have quite light skin. My skin is more on the fair to light side. And for people with dark to black skin, this is fantastic because it's so pigmented. So you can really get that beautiful effect on your skin. But if you want to achieve a similar warm, bronzy look and you have fairer skin, this is a fantastic alternative. Let's talk about some more brow products. And I'm still sad about this. Again, this is not a bad product. It's just slightly bad packaging. This is the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I love the brow gel version of it. This is one of my favorite brow gels, the Big Bush Brow Gel. Highly recommend this. I mean, the formula itself, again, fantastic. A really good way to draw brow hairs. It has two ends, which is, oh, there you go. So that's actually what happens every time I open it. I open it and the whole thing comes out because the cap and the whole structure of the brow pen just breaks. The packaging is just a bit poor. It's not very good at all. And this happened very quickly after I purchased it. The cap broke, the structure in the middle part itself broke, and the brow pen actually dried out a bit. Yeah, it's sad because the brow pen formula is great. The brow pencil formula is great, but the packaging just doesn't hold the whole thing together. I mentioned this a few times. I'm still bitter about it apparently, because again, this is a high-end product and you would expect the quality of the packaging to align with the price tag. But yeah, sadly, even though the formula is fantastic, the packaging, I think, just needs to be redone and reconsidered. So you can travel with it, so you can have it in your makeup bag without it breaking, without it leaking, without it drying up. As an alternative, I'm showing you the NYX brow pen. I'm showing this in almost every video. I hope you don't get bored of me singing its praises, but this is just a pen that I've been coming back to for years and years and years. No matter what others I fall in love with and I try, this is my comfort brow pen. It just has the perfect, very thin, small tip that you can really go in and create very realistic looking brow hairs with. It does take a little bit of practice, but once you get there, I think you will love this. And if you do, please let me know in the comments. I'm always curious to know what products that I recommended that you went out and got and actually love or don't love. Just always let me know because I want to know what you like and you think. But yeah, this one, fantastic. Also more affordable, a lot more affordable than the brow blade, I believe. And also really easily available at a lot of drugstores. So great. Also a few different colors available. Love, love, love. Can't get enough of it. This is actually really fun to do. I thought it was going to be really negative talking about products that I don't like, but actually I feel like it's fun because we're also discussing alternatives. I feel like we're finding out more what's good about products, what we really don't like about products. If you have any products that you tried recently that you absolutely disliked, let me know about them because then we can rant and cry about it in the comments together. Moving on to something that really hurts because it's Chanel, and I don't like talking bad about Chanel, but I have to because I recently bought this lip liner and it's just not that good. I used this many times. I really tried to make this work. It's just a little bit difficult to work with. When I apply lip liner, I want it to apply smoothly. I want it to glide over because you have to think, if you have facial hair, like if you're a guy and you have facial hair around your mouth area, there's little follicles along your mouth, and I think women have this too actually, but there's unevenness around the lips. So you need something that really glides over that unevenness, those valleys and hills all around your lips. You need something that can really glide over that and create that really even, beautiful line, even if you build it up, because with a lip liner, I tend to slowly build it up because I don't want that much pigment. I want a lot of control. I want to really shape the lips. And I don't know if they have reformulated recently, but this just goes on too dry, too waxy. It just creates this ripple effect. It doesn't really build on itself. It sort of bunches up and it just doesn't look good, sadly. I'm sad to mention this because I really wanted this to work. I love so many Chanel products. I love so many of their lipsticks, their blush I have here, their eyeshadow palettes. I love Chanel. I'm a Chanel boy through and through, but the lip liner sadly didn't do it for me. Even though the color is very nice, I have the color Rose Naturel. It's this beautiful, perfect browny, warm rose shade, which is just fantastic. Ideal on my particular lip color to really overline the lips and make them look bigger, reshape them slightly, but in a way that's very enhancing and very natural looking. And honestly, I will probably keep trying this because I want to make this work. But a liner that I never have to work this hard with is MAC. MAC lip liners are just some of the best. They're just incredible. And whatever other lip liner I try, I will always compare it to MAC. And I will always compare it to MAC Whirl and MAC Subculture. Those are my two favorite lip liners. I'm actually going to swatch the colors next to the Chanel. So this is Subculture. And here I'm swatching Whirl for you. So you can really see why I went for the Chanel one, because it's pretty much perfect. It's exactly a cross between Subculture, which is in the middle, and Whirl, which is on the outer hand. And the Chanel here is literally a cross between the two. I love the MAC Whirl ones. I sometimes wear them separately, sometimes together. But yeah, they build beautifully upon each other. If you create a line, you can go on top of the line and it won't bunch up. It will still look beautiful and seamless, and they also really last on the lips, even though they are more on the dry side. Just fantastic. I love the MAC ones. The Chanel one, sadly, not so much. If you watched my other video though, you saw that I love the color Destination in the Rouge Coco Flash. Just a perfect nude for boys or anyone who likes a very natural lip color. If you're more on the light skin side like me, this I think is just so beautiful, hydrating, evens out the lips, creates a little bit of shine, but very subdued, very natural. This is one of those videos where I don't really think about what I'm saying. I just let it come to me, and sometimes I prefer those videos because it's not exhausting at all. I can just, you know, it's like chatting. It's like we're sitting in my room next to my vanity, talking through the new launches, talking through makeup, applying stuff, swatching stuff, gossiping. That's the vibe. I feel like it's very fun. It's relaxing, and yeah, love doing videos like this. What do you think? Let me know. Okay, the last one I want to mention for today is again a product I really, really loved. I used every day for years, and I just slightly changed my preferences. This is again by Nudestix. Nudestix is a brand I love. I love their blushes, their bronzers. But yeah, this is the magnetic. You can see I really used this up. It's the magnetic eye color. Magnetic eye color, yeah. And it's an eyeshadow stick. And there's absolutely still videos of me up talking about this and singing its praises. And it's still a good product, but my preferences are just not the same as they used to be. This is a great sort of contour color, and that's why I used it for years. I used to always use this one to really create that inner socket sort of shadow, that inner corner, what do I call it? Sort of that sunken, what do I call it? Deep set eye look. I always used to use this to create that deep set eye look, but I just find it a little bit hard to blend compared to other formulas that I have since come across. You can see it goes on quite dry and then it really stays in place, which is actually the big winning factor about this. Once you put this on, it doesn't move, but it's a little bit hard to put on compared to some of the other formulas that I've since tried, like the Nars eyeshadow stick. This also has a slight drawback because in my case, the cap has a little crack, which slightly bothers me, but it's not completely cracked open. It's just a very fine crack. I hope it's just this particular eyeshadow stick. I hope the other eyeshadow sticks don't break as easily. But the formula is just, yeah, it's better. It's just so much better. It glides on. It blends so much more easily. And I love this. I love that it's quite fine, so it can be precise. I can just swipe it across my lids, swipe it into that inner corner, the inner socket to create that really deep set eye look. Granted, it's the color I have is a little bit warmer than the Nudestix. The Nudestix I have in the color Taupe. That's the color Taupe. Whereas the Nars eyeshadow stick I have in the color Oblivion. and it's just a hint warmer, I can still get it to work. And I sometimes use it as a base, and then I might go in with a nice contour palette like the Romand palette, just to cool it down a little bit. That works really well. But also if I'm a bit more bronzed up, this works great as a contour color. And yeah, it's just so much better in terms of blendability, in terms of how it goes on, how even the pigment goes onto the skin. And yeah, I would definitely recommend the Nars eyeshadow sticks over the Nudestix at this point. Now, maybe they have reformulated since and maybe they are more creamy now, but if you try this on in the store and you feel like it's quite on the dry side, they probably haven't, and I don't think they did. I think this is quite, it's just a little bit of an outdated sort of stick formula, and I feel like it could do with an updating where it's just a little bit more creamy and goes on more smoothly. And this again is something I'm always happy to try. If you know any good eyeshadow sticks, any good contour colors for the eyes, I'm so on the lookout for them. I love them. They're just an everyday essential. I feel like in every boy's makeup kit, this is something that should be there, unless you already have really deep set eyes, you already have quite a lot of darkness in the inner corners, or your eyes are very close together. In those cases, you can probably skip an eye contour. You probably don't need that. You might not need anything at all because you already have that sort of deep set mysterious eye look. Or on the other extreme, if you feel like it makes you look a little bit too sunken and a little bit almost tired or almost a bit angry looking, then you can actually use something like a brightening shadow in the inner corner. You can use sort of a little bit of shine in the inner corner, or you can use a color corrector even, something like this Catrice color corrector. This would be quite an orangey tone. This would be more for medium skin tones, or if you're more bronzed up. Or, you know, one of those Charlotte Tilbury little color correctors. This is such a great shade. If you have that inner corner darkness under the eyes or in the inner corners, you can really brighten that up with a color corrector like this. But yeah, for me on a daily basis, I tend to always contour that inner corner part because I feel like it just makes my eye area look a lot more impressive, almost a lot more charismatic. It just gives sort of this structure to my eye area that I really, really love. Without it, I almost feel like I'm 14 years old. I feel like it makes me look very innocent, which, I mean, it's cute. It's a cute look. But yeah, with that sort of shading, I feel a bit more grown up. I feel a bit more masculine. I feel a bit more in charge. I don't know, whatever. You know, when you think of male models, they often have this really deep set sort of eye area with these really intense looking eyes. But yeah, these were some of the worst products, or some products weren't that bad actually, but we've just found some better alternatives for them. I really hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments which awful products you tried recently. I would love to know. And also let me know what other videos you want to see. Make sure to subscribe and we'll see each other next time. Thank you so much. Bisous bisous, yours truly.